Alright, as I always say, this strategy is very simple. We need information from the previous day, right? Say for instance, if we have something like this, then we know that we don't have much the following day. For instance, we only have the high somewhere around here, right? And we have the low around here. A day like this tells us nothing because no extreme has been broken. However, when we come the following day, if they give us something like this, still again we have nothing to do here. Why? Because nothing was broken. You see, we have the low here and we have the high where it opens somewhere around here. You see, none of these extremes were broken. Why am I saying that? Because you can see the high is still intact and the low is definitely still intact. So if the next day they do something like this, then they come and close here. Now we have crucial information. For example, we have broken this area right here. So obviously this becomes a trend day. Remember, we are looking for trend continuations, and in order to get a trend continuation, we need what? We need to get a trend day. We need a trend that we will be able to follow, right? So if we get a day like that, obviously now we have the high somewhere around here, you see, and we have the low somewhere around here, and this day gave us a trend day. And just to explain something quite quick, if it's something to do with the USD, we will look at it during the New York session. If it's something to do with the euro or the pound, we will look at it during the London. And if it's something to do with the yen or Australian dollar, okay, we will look at it during Asia. And there's an exemption for things like gold. Gold can move anytime. Oil can also move during the London, or else it can move during the US session. All right, say for instance, this asset that we are looking at has something to do with the dollar. What are we looking for? Obviously this is what we are looking for. We are looking for prices to do what? To drop, right? So that we can take it all the way up. First TP here, and then we can have other TPs where we hold till the close of the day, right? However, some days they are not gonna do that. Sometimes when we come during the New York session, we might get something like this. This opportunity is already gone. Remember, you're not gonna get every single opportunity out there. You're gonna miss a lot, and that's why it requires a lot of patience. If you come and something is gone, you don't have to beat yourself up, right? Because you were looking at it during the right time that it moves, okay? So if you find something like this, obviously there is nothing to do. What we have now is rather information for the following day. This becomes a TD, all right? For what? For the following day, right? So what we are actually looking for is this. We are actually looking for them to drop. So let's say they drop maybe during the Asian and the London session, then right into the New York session they build something like a pattern. Let's say for instance here they gave us a pattern like a triangle, right? Doesn't matter what pattern, remember, any pattern. And then let's say from there they pull back and they gave us an engulfing candle here. We want to take this opportunity all the way up, and mostly this opportunity is the quickest, right? So what we are definitely doing is nothing new. Remember, this is an uptrend, you see. We want to position ourselves somewhere here to take the opportunity. Of course, we're not going to take it right at the edge because we still need to wait and see something like a pattern, because even if they give you a pin here, it's not a sign that they are reversing. It could be a trap, right? So we always want to position ourselves somewhere here, and take this opportunity all the way up. Take this opportunity all the way up. Take this opportunity all the way up. So this drop, this pullback is just this in a nutshell. You see, it's just this. So this is pretty much basic information that everybody has, but the hardest thing is actually waiting and being patient. Some days they are not gonna give this, but our job is to hunt. So that's what we are doing. All right, so again, if we get something like this, this is again a TD. Why? Because it broke this area here. So the following day again we have some crucial information. For instance, we have this low over here. We'll just draw it out every single day, and then we have the high here. So again, the thing we are looking for the next day is what? We are looking for prices to drop to key areas. Mostly here you can see, just for an example, you see they pull back to this area here, which happens to be the high of the previous day. You see, so still that can happen, or else you can see as they go up, they do something like this. Let me show you quite quick. When prices move, they do something like this. They go up, they pull back. They don't just move straight, no, they go up, they pull back, go up, pull back, pullback. So we are looking for these areas as well, because that's where they bounce. Most likely they're gonna bounce the following day. So when they pull back, we need to see them coming to one of these areas, and that's where we want to see them building a pattern. Say for instance, in this case around, they give us a pattern like a triangle. Remember, I gave you different kind of patterns on the playbook, and again, even if you do a simple Google search, you're gonna get all that information, right? So this is what we want to see. We want to see them pulling back, and of course we want to see them giving a big engulfing candle somewhere here. When they give that engulfing candle, we want to take the opportunity up, and as I say, this is the first TP, and we can still hold until the close. You see, this is what we want, right? And then again, we can still identify these areas. This one is gonna be the high, right? And this one is gonna be the low. They are not always gonna keep going up, right? We already know that, mostly because markets have four paces, right? Trend up, then they consolidate, accumulate, and they can continue up or reverse, right? So sometimes they do this, they go up, they go up, they go up, they go up, but they are not gonna go up forever, right? At some point they are gonna start reversing, and that's when the trend changes to going downwards. So that's the information we have in our mind. So even when they go up, for us to know if they're gonna continue going up, we need to see them pulling back and then giving us a pattern for a continuation up. However, they are not gonna give that every single day. So how do we know if they are ready to reverse? So let's say instead of pulling back, they decide to do something like this. They can break the high a little bit, break the high, and mostly they start consolidating between the close and the high, and eventually when the session starts, they pull back and they break to the downside. So one thing you're gonna see here is that they gave a beautiful pattern. You see, they just gave a beautiful pattern. Most of the days they're gonna do that. Why? Because people still want to be going up, you see. So if they do something like this, we want to see them doing what? Breaking out to the downside, then pulling back. And if they give us an engulfing candle here, we want to take it all the way down. And this move is super quick. Most of the time it can take out 2, 3, or 4 days of a move that went to the upside. So this is the most profitable move by far. You take it here. But how are we actually able to take advantage of this move? It's very, very easy. It's very easy. If they start holding a level, you see, when you look at this here, they are not going up, neither are they going down. Remember what we said. To get a continuation to the upside, we want them to come down first, then they can be preparing for an upward move explosively, right? And even the next day, this is what they do. But if they start holding this level like this, you need to know that now they are busy accumulating. Some of the days they can accumulate, like give something like an inside day and never go anywhere, just for the following day to retest the high and then collapse heavily. These are the fastest move by far. Fastest. They can go ×3 a move of one day. We all know about the ADR, average daily range, right? This one can go double or 3 times the average daily rate, you see. So moves like this are super quick, and they're gonna take out everybody who went up, because when we bought here, some people are long-term guys, right? So when they buy here, they'll keep their stops here, and again when they buy here, they'll keep their stops here, and the same thing happened here. When people were buying here, they'll keep their stops here. So usually this move has the capability of coming and taking every single person out. So this is what we look for. Please don't forget days when they do something like this. All right, so let's look at this one. Very interesting. You can see this day they gave a TD because they did actually violate this area over here, you see, and this was a TD, you see. Then the following day they did pull back down, and eventually what did they do? They actually ended up trending. I'll share something important here with you. And then again, this became a TD. This is all we need. This became a TD. They pull back, and eventually they gave a beautiful pattern if you look at a smaller time frame, and they went all the way up. So whether you put your first TP here and the second TP to the close, it's okay. And what I want everybody to pay close attention to is this day over here. This day violated nothing. It did not violate the high, nor did it violate the low. So we do nothing, you see. And when we came to this day here, that's when we got a TD. So just because this day went heavily down means nothing. This is a TD. So this tells us that the following day we might get an opportunity, right? So when prices opened, they came, retested, and that's when they collapsed to the downside. Look at how they touched the 21st EMA. You see, when a move is going up, they have to be above the 21st EMA. And most of the time it's going to be so easy, because if you come to a 1 hour time frame, they're just going to be testing the 21 EMA. So that's going to make things even more easier for everyone. You see, they come down, they come again, the retest just touches the 21 EMA, you see. But all we have in a nutshell is this: when a move is going up, they do something like this, right? So as I said, we want to position ourselves somewhere here, right? And when a move is going down, we have something like this, and all we want is to position ourselves somewhere here, right? This is not really hard. It's just that some days you won't get anything. And by the way, executing or finding opportunities is not hard. The most hardest thing is remaining patient and waiting for the opportunity. So you see, when it goes up, it's the same thing we are looking for. You see, nothing different. And at some point, this is where they trend up, and at some point they're gonna accumulate, right? So look at this. This is simply an accumulation. Why? Because they didn't break anything. It's just an accumulation. But look after that, same thing. You see, that's the same old thing we are looking for each and every day. All we need is to position ourselves here. You see, not rocket science. And look at the EMA. When they pull back mostly, they are coming to touch the 21st EMA. They are coming to touch the 21st EMA. They are coming to touch the 21st EMA. 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 That's all we need, right? So let's go into detail on this one. Let's go to a smaller time frame. We are gonna go to a 5-minute time frame right now. Okay, this is that day where we got an inside day, but let me share with you something here. All right, you can see this is the first TD, first trend day. You can see, right? First trend day. And then the next day, what do? The next day they come here. Let's just put our lines. We want to see the type of pattern, because yes, some days they're gonna give you a big pattern, some days they're gonna give you a smaller pattern. But look at this, beautiful. You see, this is beautiful. They broke out without a retest, then they come later and retest. You see, so we got a rectangle, beautiful rectangle. If you look at it, patience only. They break out of it, no retest. What do you do if there's no retest? You do nothing, you sit down on your hands, right? They come back, retest, and look at it again. Look at it again. Even the retest comes with its own mini pattern. Beautiful. Look at this, right? Look at this. Look at this. So beautiful. You see, then this is an easy execution to the upside. And again, because they broke this one here, this is still a trend day. Then the following day again, they collapse. All right? Again, they gave the same thing. You couldn't take this one because it did not have a retest. But if you look at what they gave later, that's when you can see that we had a pattern. And yes, of course, you see, they break out, they come with this candle, touch down, and eventually that's when they go. But I want to paint something here crucial with you that I shared in one of my recent videos, but I'll share in my future video. You see this? These are trending dodges. Trending dodges are super powerful. So when you see them giving trending dodges going to the upside, usually it ends with a super big engulfing candle like this one. This move is gonna explode. All right, this move is gonna explode. So please pay close attention to that. If you backtest, you have seen this countless times. And then, as we said, we came to this day over here which broke nothing. So what do we need to see? We want to see a trend day. So here we got a trend day. This day we do not do anything, right? We come the next day, and then when we come the next day, you can see, look at how they went up. But the most important thing I want everybody to see here is the kind of pattern they gave us. First of all, let's look. They came to stop hunt everybody from the key resistance. I spoke about that. I'm not going much into detail because I've already done that in most of my recent videos. And by the way, I've updated the playbook, but I will upload it on Friday. But this time around, it's for those who require long-term trades, okay? So it's all gonna be in the playbook, okay? So look at this, because it's a lifetime update. For those who don't have it, they can get one in the description below. But for those who have it, you're gonna download this next strategy from where you got the first one, right? So look at this. Look at the pattern they gave here. This is a shoulder, this is a shoulder, head, and a shoulder. If you look at the playbook, the second playbook, you'll realize that I gave this kind of head and shoulders where we have double shoulders and a head, and then we have a shoulder. I gave it. So you see, this was an execution. If you doubt this, you are waiting for a retest. Some days you are waiting for a retest, but you get trending dodges. I just told you, these ones are highly reliable. They're gonna end with a super big engulfing candle, and that will tell you they are not coming back. You see, these trending dodges dojis are super powerful. When you're backtesting, please backtest these ones as well. But this is a head and shoulder. For head and shoulder, you don't need to wait for a retest because mostly they don't by nature. So you see, this one was a beautiful execution. Either here or here, it's up to you. But look, it collapsed all the way down to 180 points. Exceptional, right? Yes, it's actually amazing. But again, this is not the end. We still have a TD here. We want to see the following day. Guys, they can give you a move with trend days for as many days as they want. They will have to decide if it's enough or not. We're not gonna decide for them. As long as they are giving us the opportunity, we will keep taking it. All right, so look at this here. Look at this. You see, this is again, remember, they retested. That's the most important thing, because the low is down here, right? They retested. Now they give a pattern, they give a breakout, and that's when they come back later. So yes, of course, somebody could have taken this and lost. This is still okay. Sometimes they close you, but the move is still valid. So on the close of this candle, again, it's another execution. You see, and it keeps going. The giver that keeps giving. This is Sigisti. You see, and then this is what? This is a TD again. This is a TD again. You see, and then they do what? They pull all the way back. Let's see what they do the high. If they violate this high, then the move is invalid. Why? Because we don't want them violating the high of the previous day. You see, but this case around, what do? Because I did say that when they retest, they can come to the closing price, right, or the low, or key areas. But look at what they do. They come and pin the high. This is not violating the high. This is not, somebody will say, but they violated. No, they did not violate. They just pinned. Even on a 5 minutes, there's not even a single candle that closed above. So this is still valid. You see, we just want to see a pattern, because obviously they came to what? To the closing price of the previous day. This is the closing price of the day before, right? So this is a crucial key area, and that's where we get, again, this is a half bet man. I gave these patterns honestly. This is a half bet man, all right? Half bet man, they break down. That's when they come back and explode to the downside. You see, this is when they come back and explode to the downside. So you see, this move has just kept on giving and kept on giving. As if that's not enough, again, this is a TD. You see, the low is down here. Same thing. Look at this. They break out. Yes, could have lost here. It's okay, right? But look, they come again, and the next day, that's when they do what? They hit the TP. So when you get a pattern breakout, retest, yes, if you lost it here, it's okay. But remember, this move has been going for days. So sometimes we want to decide for them that it's enough. But in reality, let them decide for themselves until a day when they'll come and hold this level and eventually break to the upside and then retest, and we take it in line with that. You see, as I've just showed you. So simple. So simple. Now let's look at this one again. And this is interesting. We had this explosive news day, right, which collapsed to the downside. And then look at what they did. They pulled back, and that's when they gave an opportunity and they collapsed to the downside. And if we go to a smaller time frame, you'll still see where they came to was a key area before collapsing. But usually when I get big moves like this, I don't want to really make a decision the following day, because we all know something called the ADR, average daily range. Prices have a range that they actually move to in a day. Sometimes if it's a currency, you'll find that the range is 60 pips or stuff. But what you need to know is to know the pair's average daily range. And if they double that average daily range, so that becomes something like a climax candle on a daily time frame. And usually it's too big for them to continue the following day. So you need to take it with caution, right? But look at this. They went down. This was a TD. They pulled back, and all the way they collapsed. You see? And this one, I told you, for a TD, they need at least 2 1-hour candles that closes in breakout. But look at this one. The next one was back inside. So we can't say this is a TD. But look at this. Again, this one violated nothing. So we have nothing to do here. But when we look at this one, what do we get? We get a TD. And the following day, what do we want? We want them to retest, come to key areas to stop hunt some of these guys. On a smaller time frame, you'll see that they came to key areas. And when you look at a smaller time frame, you get a beautiful pattern here all the way back to the top. You see? And this is an asset that has to deal with, it's the pound yen. So I told you, pound and euro moves during the London session. That's when you are looking for your opportunity. Look at this. Beautiful. They give a TD again. Another TD. They pull back the same day. Unfortunately, this one was gone by the time this one opened. So even if you miss this one, it's still okay. But look at this one, TD. Look at this move. Super beautiful. Super beautiful. You see, that's all. Now let me just take this opportunity to show you days where we look for a reversal. You can see we got this beautiful day that was a follow through from a TD the previous day, and then all of a sudden they did not pull back to give an opportunity for a continuation, right? Nor did they do what? Nor did they explode to the upside. Why? That's what you have to ask yourself a question. What are they doing and why? And if you look at this one, you will realize that they are holding the high and the closing price. They go up, but they come back. The next moment they go up, they are back inside. You see? And if you look at it carefully, you realize that at the end of the day, you have a beautiful pattern. Guys, I gave you all these patterns in the playbook. And the playbook has three different strategies. And I've just added one for long term that I will upload probably Friday or next week. And everybody will get access to it because it's a lifetime update. Okay. So they are holding the level. This one gives you a lot of information. They go down, they retest, collapse. You see? So these are the days when you want to sell. Remember, it's two things, two simple things. When they do this, they give you a pattern here, they break out, they pull back and give you an opportunity to the downside. This is called what? Buy low. However, when they hold the price high like this, they are not going up, neither are they going down. They are just waiting for the session. This is now called, when they break down to the downside and retest, this is now called what? Sell high. So you need to know what we mean when we say sell high, and you need to know what we mean when we sell buy low. Here they are holding prices at the highest point for the day. This is the highest point because you can see prices went up. This is the highest point currently. Mostly this is gonna, in most cases, result in a sell high opportunity. And when they start collapsing like this, mostly it's gonna end up in a buy low opportunity. That's all there is to it. All right.